it's me again. This is like take 5 on this video right now. Today's date is December 13th, 2022. It's a Tuesday. Let me preface this by saying it's not financial advice. This is my own personal blog and thoughts. You are following me along on my journey. This is my opinion. It's one bird's thoughts. And a lot of people are scared because they are seeing a $0 value in their account. This is part of the process. I've been through this process a few times. This is what happens. Your account goes to 0 because you'll be given a new share which doesn't have an established market value because it's either a private share or it's not trading yet. Old share goes away. We knew MMTLP was getting deleted, which we're on step 5 now. MMTLP was getting deleted last night, early this morning, stroke of midnight, and by the 14th, you will be giving your shares of NextBridge Hydrocarbons. Hooray! I did also make that video a few days ago after making about 60 calls in one day, plus all the calls from the 2 previous days, that it's a very real possibility that the AST bus is full. So what happens if the AST bus is full and your broker tries to go register the shares and it bounces back, gets kicked back from AST to the brokerage? The brokerage has a very big problem on their hands, which you can leverage. The brokerage has a very big problem on your hands because they guaranteed you a share of NextBridge. We called. Hey, no, it's okay. You're getting NextBridge. You're getting NextBridge in your account. It's okay. You're getting NextBridge. It'll be in your account by the 14th. Check back later. Get NextBridge. TD Ameritrade sends letters. We sell only the finest shares. We guarantee they are all real. Brokerages are realizing, uh-oh. Wait, if it's already full and there's 165 seats, we can't get kicked back. Yeah, you're getting kicked back, so there's 165 million seats. The problem's on you, brokerage. There's the possibility that you might be approached by a brokerage, or you may not be approached by a brokerage to sell your shares, and thus the negotiations begin. These are gray market negotiations. The brokerage isn't required to report the value to you. You will see the 0 in the brokerage account and you might get scared. They're going to try and use this to their advantage to offer you a lower price for your MMTLP shares. They're going to try and use the scary tactics, the boogeyman tactics, to try and get the lowest price value for your shares. This isn't Bird Lady's first rodeo. That's why I'm calm. I know that, and I heard this phrase earlier. It was music to my ears because I've been telling people this phrase and then somebody else said it to me last night. It was music to my ears when they said it because it's what I've been saying. Brokerages want to limit the liability of the risk of exposure, which means they got to sweep this problem that they have under the table very quickly before word gets out. Before it's exposed that, lots of brokerages are probably selling you some fraudulent shares, although they guarantee it's real. Oh no, naked shorting doesn't exist. These shares are real. And why is AST quite possibly full? Why can't my share go to NextBridge? Why did it get kicked back? They want that 0 in your account so you can sell at a lower price. Oh, the last closing price is $2.90. Would you be willing to sell at $3? Some people are like, yeah, get me out of here. That's fine. That's what they want to do. It's their personal choice. That's what brokerages are counting. They're counting on people not being that educated or aware of the situation. And again, this isn't financial advice. This is opinion piece, and I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just sharing you with what I personally going to do because I'm transparent. I will tell you what I do, and this is my own personal blog, my journey. You are just following me along and hearing one bird's thoughts. I'm going to point out the fact that the brokerage has sold me a fraudulent share, which they guaranteed was real, but they sold me a fraudulent share. They did something very illegal, and they're under a lot of risk of exposure for selling me something illegal. You have to buy back my share. You got to make this right. You have to reconcile your shares. What I'm going to do personally, if I'm approached, is I'm going to do the nibble method. I'm going to sell some shares at a price. As Tony pointed out, intrinsic value of the Oro Grande is based on the 3.2 billion barrels of oil and the 6 trillion cubic feet of gas. I've talked about the intrinsic value of the Oro Grande, possible dividends, buyout from a big oil company, all that. It has high significant value. But we're not in intrinsic value now. The situation is different. It's a different situation. The situation is now supply and demand value. The pressure of the risk of exposure, that big liability on that brokerage. Those are a lot of bargaining chips you can leverage. And of course, you'll be given a person who's probably the lowest of, in the company that they can, hire. They might be hiring a bunch of temp people to call to say, here's your script. Try and get as many shares as you can. It seems that there's a lot of shares that they need to close out. And like I said, if you're approached by brokerages, Tony, I know, is going to come out with some very good videos on how to, what he's going to do. And I'm going to do the nibble method, sell them some shares at a particular price, but next call, I'll sell them a bit more shares at a higher price. One, I think that establishes that if you want to sell, you're willing to sell, you're receptive to your phone call. So you get bumped up to the line pretty quickly. They'll always come back to you for getting your shares. But there's a very real problem on people's hands. Not your hands, on the broker's hands. They guaranteed it was real. They said, no, we only sell real shares. We're an esteemed brokerage. Oh. Again, do not let the fear get to you of that $0 in your account. You have to think outside of the construct. They are trying to put you in one box, but you're not seeing the outside. You're not seeing those rainbows outside. That 0 in your account, okay, that's standard procedure. It's SOP because it's not trading and it's the current ticker is going away. You're being issued. It's an exchange. It's not a delisting. The FINRA document said exchanged. You will be given an exchange share of NextBridge, which is not on any market. Hence, it's $0 value. And when it goes to gray market, like people were talking about, the bespoke sales that I just went over with your brokerage, your bespoke sales, it'll still say 0 in the account because they don't have to report that to you. Again, it's a tactic to try and get you to sell at the lowest possible price, so you're scared. And you might be required to sign an NDA about it. And here's the thing, if you even agree to sell some shares, you might be under an NDA about all of your shares now. That's also a possibility. If you sign an NDA when you sell 100 of your shares out of your 1,000, it doesn't matter. When they come back, you don't have to sign the NDA. That's good for all your shares now. It could be a blanket NDA. Like, oh, just not for this transaction, but for all possible transactions. One NDA. Okay. The indemnity agreement. Okay. And it might be a consent thing where you consent to it on the phone. It depends. When you consent to it on the phone that you won't disclose, that's fine. And that's a private matter. But like I said, I'm not scared right now. I've been through this before where things look like it's 0 in your account. But really, there's value to this. We talked about the value of NextBridge. We talked about the potential very real problem that brokers have right now. So what you have is very valuable because they need to get it away or else it exposes them. Okay, I wanted to play some of the phone conversations that I had yesterday about JP Morgan. They were having difficulty getting instructions from the share distribution department, probably pertaining to this problem, quite possibly pertaining to this problem. But I thought I would make this video first because a lot of people are very scared right now. And I hope I've calmed some people down. Like I said, this isn't my first rodeo. But if it is your first rodeo, that's okay. It's the first time for everybody. Okay, guys, that's it for today. Remember, next bridge shares happen on the 14th. I will see you soon. Goodbye.